Oh, yes. You thought I was done. I thought I was done. I'm not done. I got a little more. I made a video 4 years ago, just at when the lockdowns were starting. I don't call it a pandemic anymore. I kind of never did. That's one of those permissions that I don't give. I refuse to call it a pandemic when I'm remembering to do so. You know, I fall into the trap sometimes, but I'm not really sure what happened. And so I'm not going to call that series, that time that we went through, as the pandemic. But one thing that I do know for certain was that there were lockdowns. And so I'm comfortable referring to that as lockdowns. I made a video in March of 2020 about permissions and about the permission I would not be giving, that I would not be taking any shots, that I refused to be referred to as a carrier or a danger to society, that I refused to have conversations that started with the degradation of my identity by calling me those things, by referring to me in a way that was not accurate, that was not true, or that was an incredibly tiny sliver of my existence. They're doing it all over again. They always do it. They never stop doing it. They never stop insulting us by referring to us as less than we are. It never ends. It never ends, because when they lie to you about who you are, when they're willing to misrepresent you to your face, that is the entryway for the accusation that is coming. And sometimes the accusation is already implied within the false identity that they issue you. So one of the examples I've used before in my videos is like if someone called you a meat bag, or if they called your wife a birthing pod, or if they called your wife your cook, right? One of the other terms is like that I really don't dig is calling women who stay at home, calling them stay-at-home moms. A lot of times that's used in a derogatory sense and in a reductive sense. But the point I'm trying to make is that they always start by misidentifying. And if you buy the misidentity, if you buy the lesser identity, then they start accusing. If you let them consumer, that one, like, you're going to get me fired up, a consumer. I get pissed. Because when they call you a consumer, the next step is saying you should consume less, or that it's bad to consume. That you're just a virus, that you're a plague on this planet. You're a consumer. I do consume, but I consume with a purpose. And I happen to have the purpose of taking back the lost aspects that our ancestors have surrendered over the millennia, and the dimensions of the world around us that they also surrendered, so that I can bring order to the world around me, and peace and life. So do I consume? I do. Maybe you watched my video about our conversation, or our agreement with creation, and that there is an agreement that creation is willing to make certain sacrifices in order to fuel humanity, so that humanity can set creation free. That's the context in which I consume, and so in no way will I allow someone to refer to me as a consumer. That's the tiniest part of who I am and what I do. But if you let them talk to you like that, if you let them spiritually abuse you like that, if you let them commit that crime, and it is a massive crime, identity crime. It's not identity theft, but it is identity theft. If you let them do that, then you're setting yourself up for the accusation. And then when the accusation comes, they want you to surrender something. Hey, meatbag. Hey, consumer. Hey, consumer. Identity. You're over-consuming. Accusation. Therefore, you should stop consuming and surrender your consumption and let us control your consumption. There's the surrender. So it's misidentification, accusation, and then surrender. And this is the fall we have gone through time and time again. That's why I love the story of the Garden of Eden. You can learn so much about how evil works against us to get us to give up what we have in exchange for being royalty or gods of a lesser world.